Hello and welcome to Enquire to Choir. My name is Eva and I'm here to help you, fellow choir people. Before I start this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to my very first subscriber. I cannot believe somebody actually subscribed so quickly. And it's just you for now, but I'm so happy that you're here and I hope you say it means a lot to me that you clicked that button. And I know you're not one of my people because nobody knows I'm doing this, which is crazy, but what can you do? As promised in my last video, today's topic is the last leg of this choir audition frequently asked questions tour. It was originally named Soprano, Alto, Tenor, or Bass, How to Know Which Is It? While I do agree with the title of the previous video, not so much with me singing it in the previous video, this video is going to be about how to recognize the type of a voice the person in your audition has. But it won't be technically detailed as you might think, because you can Google that stuff and you will find a perfectly suitable answer. It will give you the average range of the voice and all the details about the voice's timbre, which all stands. However, I do not think that knowledge is enough, especially when we are dealing with non-professional choirs, which we are here on Enquire to Choir. Plus, in most cases, you only have a few minutes to determine which type of a voice a person is in your audition, so you need to be as effective and efficient as possible. You need to have some quick tips. This is why in this video I'm going to focus on all the practical things you can easily apply to quickly recognize the type of a voice, and what to do if you really can't figure out the type of the voice a person has even after you have thoroughly tested it in an audition. The thing I keep repeating here on Enquire to Choir is the fact that most singers in non-professional choirs are amateurs. I know it seems obvious, but some people tend to forget that fact when it comes to some stuff. For example, if somebody asks you how to know if a female singer is a soprano, they will tell you to check her range, because the soprano range is from C4 to G5. So if the person can hit most of the pitches in that range, that means she is a soprano. Yes, that works for professionals, but not people who haven't received any professional training. Their voice is not developed to its potential. You can't know for sure if they aren't able to hit the range because of inexperience or because they're not sopranos. Okay, you say, then check the timbre, because sopranos have a lighter sound than altos. Yes, I agree, again, but for example, I am an alto, and you can even call me a tenorine, and I can hit F5. Does that make me a soprano? No, it does not, because when I sing F5, I struggle. My throat is stiffening and I'm hurting, and that is a hint that I am not feeling comfortable in that pitch area and I need to stop. My point is, you can't rely just on voice theory definitions. Okay, so let's assume you only have 5 minutes per candidate on the audition to determine which type of a voice they are. And the fact is, out of those 5 minutes, you will only have maybe, I don't know, 2 minutes of singing. So the key thing for me is to gather as many clues as I possibly can. But the key question for me here is, what can you find out before the candidate even starts singing? What do I mean by that is, you can notice what they sound like when they say hello when they enter the room, what they sound like when they're talking to you, when they are introducing themselves to you. Very useful thing is to make them laugh by making a joke, of course, not by telling them laugh. When a person laughs, they tend to use more air than when speaking, which is more similar to singing. If, for example, they're laughing in a deeper voice, that means they are more comfortable in the lower pitch. Also, a clue. I already talked about the questionnaire. I think that's here. And when I talked about that, I explicitly said that you have to ask them if they have ever sung before in a choir or in a band. This information is so helpful, mostly because if they have sung in a choir, that means somebody has already dealt with their voice and had put it in some category. they didn't sing in a choir, but they sang in a band, ask them which songs they sang and which songs were their favorite and most comfortable. If they had been in a choir, ask them which voice they sang. But the crucial thing is to ask them when that was. Because it's not the same if a person was a soprano when they were 11 or 18. The voice changes, it goes through puberty, things change, we change, the world changes, you know, stuff happens. So it's not the same thing. Now, when it comes to the actual singing, I find that every voice has its quirks. These are unconventional things I'm going to say, and they're based on my experience and they work, so don't put up a fight with me. When it comes to female voices, there are some myths among non-professionals. So many of them, but for example, there is a belief that successful singing is singing the high notes. That is why many female candidates will try to sing in a higher key than they are comfortable. If you recognize that they're stiffening their throats or doing something funny with their necks when they are going to the higher pitches, and it just sounds very uncomfortable for them, put them in a lower key. The other thing is people being afraid of the high notes, so they take it in a lower key than they should. But there is a difference between when the soprano is afraid of the higher notes and an alto is afraid of the higher notes, because an alto will sound comfortable even in the lower pitches, while sopranos will probably struggle. When it comes to male voices, the problem with them is non-professionals are mostly baritones. What I mean to say, if they were not pulled in some direction by someone who recognized their strong points and the strong points of the voice, they are mostly somewhere in the middle. What it comes to is to take notice of the tendency of the voice while singing. What does it move like, if you know what I mean? I noticed that the tenors, some tenors tend to go to strange Freddie Mercury type of singing when they are going to the high notes, so I have to take care of it. While basses, when they are in higher pitch, they feel like strangled. I don't know if that sounds trivial to you, but I'm trying to give you all of the clues so you can work with something. Notice the common thread here. Comfortable. When they sing, their voice should be comfortable. Even if they are having a nervous breakdown because they're anxious of public performance, their voice has a range of just a few notes where it sounds the best it can be. This is what it's referred to in some literature as the sweet spot. The sweet spot is a narrow range of pitches in which the given voice sounds most comfortable and natural. Of course, the sweet spots differ for different voices, so let's go through the voices one by one. The soprano's average range is from C4 to G5. The sweet spot is from G4 to D5. When it comes to altos, their average range is from G3 to D5. The sweet spot is from C4 to A4. The tenors' average range is from C3 to G4. Their sweet spot is from G3 to E4. And when it comes to basses, their average range is from F2 to C4. Their sweet spot is from A2 to A3. Okay, so after all of the audition process, you're still not sure which type of a voice a person has. The first tip is the best advice I was ever given for this particular problem, and it really works. For sopranos and tenors, it's easier to sing ascending notes, while for altos and basses, it's easier to sing descending notes. What I mean by that is, for sopranos, it's gonna be easier to sing la 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 la. For the altos, it's gonna be more natural to sing la 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 la. I don't know why, but it works. And finally, if you're really not sure, you always have the option to say to them, for example, I am not sure if you are a higher alto or a lower soprano, and for now I'm going by my best guess and I'm putting you in the higher altos. If you find it uncomfortable to be singing in altos even after a month, then talk to me and I will put you in the lower sopranos. there you have it. I really hope this was helpful. I'm trying to give you advice which you cannot find somewhere on the internet, so this is a bit unconventional, but this is what Enquire to Choir channel is all about. You can find Enquire to Choir on Facebook and on Instagram, or subscribe to the channel. Conduct well, conductors and other choir people, and I'll see you around. Bye!